Hey everybody, my name is Thomas,
My name is Heather.
and I have some exciting news. We're
We're
engaged.
engaged.
Yep, you
Woo!
heard right. We're engaged as of March 30th, 2017. And the purpose of this video is to explain a little bit about our passions and our future and everything that made sense to us that led up to this decision. It wasn't spontaneous, it was prayerful, and we both planned and are planning things out as we go along and are seeking God's heart and everything. So we'll explain that now, starting with me. Okay, so as I explained, my name is Thomas, and I was born and raised in New Jersey. I come from a Haitian background. My parents immigrated from Haiti a few decades ago. I'm one of 8 children, and I'm the last of 8 children. And I'm currently in school for studying naturopathic medicine in Arizona. That's where I live currently, and I'm in my first year of naturopathic medical school. I'm currently seeking to transfer to Oregon in this summer, and where I will continue to pursue naturopathic medicine as well as combine my focus with global health. So, where I'd like to go with naturopathic medicine and global health, it's been in my heart for a while to serve others locally and globally. I started off in college in AmeriCorps, where I got to serve over 600 hours of community service. Fell in love with it. I love impacting people in a positive way, and that's what first sparked my interest in service, a life of service. As I went along throughout my college career, I got an interest in public health and traveling to other countries to share the resources and skill set and tools I've gathered here or accumulated here with others who are in need in other places around the world. It's something I believe God has been speaking to me about, and I'm growing passionately about this. And so the method of how I plan on doing this is, like I said, through naturopathic medicine, global health, and I really want to target or work in targeting poverty, issues such as poverty, environmental health, clean water, and access to healthcare in places that are less fortunate. And as I said, this is just something that grew over time. It wasn't overnight, much like this wasn't overnight. And this is, I've grown so confident to believe that God is putting this in my heart, and this relationship right here is actually another confirmation that God's been putting it in my heart. So I'll give you to Heather, who will explain her passions and background.
Yeah. So I'm 22. I grew up in Oregon. I'm the youngest of 3 children. I'm the only girl in my family. I grew up in a family, just to kind of give you a brief overview of my history and explain kind of how I got to where I'm at. I grew up in a family that always attended church, and I believed in God, but my faith was never really something that became my own until about my senior year in high school. Around my sophomore and junior years, my family went through somewhat of a crisis, and later I went on my first missions trip to Mexico. And both of those kind of milestone events really prepared my heart for um, a foundation of a relationship with Jesus that happened my senior year. Like, I can distinctly remember the day that it happened, and I just felt in that moment that God was calling me to ministry. So my life kind of changed dramatically from that point on. For one, I became bold and I became passionate about the Word of God and about what I could see Him wanting to do in this world and for His people. And I knew that required some self sacrifice or lifestyle changes, which really were for my benefit anyway. So after my senior year of high school, I went to a discipleship school called The Mandate. And with that group, I had the opportunity to travel overseas to Africa for a couple of months, to Cambodia for a couple of months, to Mexico multiple times. And each time it was a different place, it was a varied culture, a different race of people, but every single opportunity showed me more of who God is, um, and how He's at work in nations around the world. And that's just been lighting my heart on fire. And as time has gone on, I just feel God confidently moving me more in that direction of the nations. Specifically, I feel like He's gifted and passioned me with tools to teach people, um, equip leaders, train people in the Word, just, I guess, encourage and mobilize the church body to really be living out the full potential of who God is calling them to be, and to be able to take those risks and leaps of faith to really explore what that means for them, and to be able to let go of other things they may be holding on to. So, just as a brief overview, that's kind of my heart and my passion. I am about 2 years into a 4-year program right now. It's called Reach Training Institute. And at this school, I'll be earning a bachelor's degree in global and cultural interests. Um, and it's definitely a Christian school. So I'm getting my pastoral licensing, going through theology classes and courses, all sorts of stuff that's really just equipping me, and not only building my faith, and it's totally been an invigorating experience for me to get to know God more and more every day. But also, I just feel Him calling me and preparing me to be of use to help other people experience Him and His love as well, and to serve in any capacity that I can. Those trips overseas, helping out in orphanages and teaching English and things, were all just such good experiences for me to be able to be blessed as being a blessing. I never really knew that concept before. So yeah, that's kind of where my heart is, and it's growing and it's changing more, to align with the Father's every day. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what He has for us, and that includes relationship with Thomas. So we're going to now explain a little bit, about that, about our combined passions, and how we feel He's calling us to be, a team, a married couple that can be, of service to Him in any way that He would desire for us.
So another thing that confirmed this relationship with Heather, and that marriage was a very real thing that we both felt confident about, was that I explained how I had this interest in global health, and however I was in Arizona pursuing naturopathic medicine, where I still am, and although there is Naturopaths Without Borders, which I do participate with, it wasn't until after talking to Heather, her sharing her dreams with me, that I started considering, maybe let's see if there's options for us to be together while in school. And so there's only 5 naturopathic schools in the U.S., I believe. There's only 5. And one of them happens to be 1 hour away from her. And so that was pretty awesome finding that out. And I also did a little bit more research and found out that their school offers a dual degree with global health, which was something I had already been passionate about and had been working in with Naturopaths Without Borders. Those of you who know me know that I went to Haiti last year. I went to the Dominican Republic 2 years ago, and from time to time I go to Mexico with Naturopaths Without Borders currently, where we provide naturopathic healthcare, basically. So where we see our passions and skills combining is global ministry and service. Heather, as she explained, more so the ministry, where I feel like I can contribute to, because I'm also a believer, and I actually grew up in a faith-based house. My father's a minister. He still pastors in New Jersey, and faith has always been something that's been important to me, my spiritual development. And lately, it's been an overflow of God's abundant grace in my life, and Him revealing who Jesus Christ is to me. And it's been speaking a lot to me, and how it's really interesting learning about Heather's passion and how it resonates with something in my heart. So how I see us combining our passions in the future, as I said, me through service, and that service consists of medicine, naturopathic medicine, which is really holistic care and targeting the root cause of illness and and also public health and in ministry when given opportunity. That's my side of things. And Heather, she can explain a little bit more about her heart and about our collaborate passions and how that might look like.
Yeah, so in terms of being with Thomas, I do have that heart to equip and train leaders for ministry. But also, I definitely recognize that when you're in another culture, you really need to be in that other culture, and you're not just going there to give, but also to receive. And with what his passion is of going to see what is the need, how can we serve you, and how can you teach us too. I'm so on board with that. If they're working on like water treatment plants or anything like that, I would love to just learn as much as I can and to be a part of that and assisting in that. If it's farming or agricultural stuff, I would love to be a part of that. So basically, just serving in any capacity that I can, learning as much as I can, and then hopefully having that also prepare um, relationships with those people that will lay a foundation to be able to speak more about the heart that God has for them. So, yeah.
So the effect that we plan to have through marriage, and one of the reasons why we feel that marriage is appropriate so soon, even is that first of all, it's what God has been speaking to us. I'm not sure. Well, it's in another video that explains how we came together and how there was a step-by-step process of receiving confirmation from God that this was just the right thing for us to do. I really do believe that God has some awesome things in store for us, and we're just continually hearing from Him throughout this process of marriage and growing our relationship. So that said, we want to bless our communities locally and globally with God's grace. It pretty much boils down to that. So, anything else you want to say?
I think that's pretty much it for now. Just to kind of tell about our stories and our passions briefly. As Thomas mentioned, we are going to be making some other videos that kind of describe, like, if you want to hear the romance side of it, how we came to really fall in love with each other and the proposal story, things like that. We will be uploading videos like that as well. We also want to start a blog, and we'll get you more information on that as it's being developed. But we're hoping that this blog is actually going to be a long-term thing, so that after we are married and we are overseas, just like what's going on, what's God doing in and through us. So some ways that we would be asking for support from you guys, first of all, is just prayer. We're definitely seeking wisdom and guidance from God and from others in our lives that we know and we love and support through this journey and this process for marriage. And what are some other things I want to
We're also planning on creating a fundraising site. So those of you who would like to contribute monetarily, you can. And she mentioned a blog, which will be named exploringunityandgrace.blogspot.com. I'll put a link up for you to follow.
And kind of the reason for the GoFundMe account or the fundraising account is so we're hoping to have first of all, it's really expensive to have him be able to move up here from Arizona, which he's going to be doing this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're hoping to have the wedding in the fall, sometime in September, hopefully the 9th, is tentatively what we're thinking.
Okay.
And I would be moving to Portland with him near his school. So there's just a lot of expenses involved, especially since we're both students. So that's kind of the reason that we would be asking for GoFundMe financial support.
So, with that all said, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to this video and really hear our hearts and just support us, I suppose, and where this is going. And we both feel confident. It's not something that we feel shaky about at all. If anything, it's just allowing our communities to support us as well. We know what we feel in our hearts. We know what God is speaking to us. We're just hoping that our communities will follow through with prayer you don't want to support, that's cool too. And we appreciate every one of you, our families, friends, and colleagues. Thank you so much for everything. Stay tuned for more videos.